Hello, my name is Dolphin, and today I bring you a review of RTS/city builder game Diplomacy is Not an Option. As always, on the Verdict series we will evaluate its strengths and weaknesses and we'll place it on our 100-minute dive leaderboard. Let's dive in. Let's start with short-term engagement. Creating an effective castle to defend against massive enemy armies can be addictive, especially when sheer numbers overwhelm you. However, while this aspect is enjoyable, I feel something is missing. It's lacking some kind of new perspective or engaging unique theme. Although the storyline is good and consistent, the use of drawn-out pauses for every humorous instance can be irritating. This issue is compounded by a lack of detail with up-close graphics, which can make it unclear to many players that these pauses are intended as moment of awkward funny silence. So adjusting this could be beneficial. As for other aspects, characters are clear and consistent, pacing of the content is fine, but since there is a lack of unique and engaging gameplay elements, this results in diminished motivation to keep playing. So overall, for short-term engagement, I would give 3.5 out of 5. Second category, replayability and complexity. While you can create challenges for yourself by ramping up the difficulty, the game itself doesn't have a steep learning curve or much depth. Of course, you need to learn to be efficient in economy and get best ratios for troops, but ultimately it lacks more layers in gameplay. For me, it's also important to have some kind of multiplayer aspect, which is also missing. On the bright side, you can complete challenges and explore different setups in endless and sandbox modes. But even it's noticeable that these additions add some gameplay outside of campaign, and developers try to provide some extra content. Overall, gameplay lacks for me to be sticking to this game for a longer period of time. So I would rate replayability and complexity 3 out of 5. Next, visuals and audio. Somehow everything about this game feels stuck in the negative middle ground of okay and nothing outstanding. Also in this category, everything seems kind of in place, but it's not enough to get some kind of special score. However, I must say I did not like voice acting and cinematic scenes decisions. It might seem fun to use what look like just zoomed in unit skins with an inexistent language, but adding no extra effects to these scenes combined with the previously mentioned awkward pauses makes this experience really not enjoyable over time. On the positive side, special effects from spells lift combat moments slightly, but of course they're just a small part of overall visual presentation, which isn't that outstanding. To sum up, even everything looks fine on the surface, a closer look to design choices and specific parts lowers the overall impression. I would give this category 2.5 out of 5. Fourth category, handling and user interface. The UI is clear and functional, and there are different options to set up your hotkeys. However, after playing several popular RTS games, I find it frustrating that the hotkeys aren't displayed on the grid itself. Learning a new layout becomes slower when you have to drag your mouse over the grid every time. Additionally, while the inclusion of default and pro layouts is great, I doubt that VASD camera setup is convenient for any and especially new players, because then the grid is aligned to the right side of the VASD and stretches across 5 columns. It's almost always faster to click it with your mouse and use the hotkeys. Also, let's not forget that users often will need to look at the keyboard, as only one hand handles both movement and hotkeys. And again, the lack of displayed hotkeys makes it even worse, since now you either need again to drag the mouse over the grid or physically count the buttons on the keyboard with left hand until you learn those by heart. That said, I loved statistics panels. The game was clear to play and I encountered no bugs. So I would give handling and user interface 4 out of 5. And the final category, uniqueness and wow factor. This is a nice RTS/city builder game. However, Does it stand out as significantly more unique or engaging than its competitors? Not really. Its closest competitor is likely We Are Billions, and even though I haven't played this game, it's clear from reviews and the remaining audience to the games that the 2019 title outshines this one. While this offers simplistic gameplay and fun moments like taking down massive armies with spells, it doesn't introduce groundbreaking mechanics or provide fresh perspective for the genre. And since that's what we are looking for, I would rate this Uniqueness Wow Factor 2.5 out of 5. I did not find any additional major negative factors, so we jump to the total score, which is 3.1 stars, and places this game 12 on our leaderboard. The score reflects my opinion about game really well. It's not super impressive, but definitely not the worst title as well. Thank you for watching. This was Free Happy Dolphin, and see you next time.